What's going on, guys? We are here at the Mandalay Bay. We're pumped to get our first proper poker vlog here. This is going to be episode number 30, 2-5 no limit, minimum buy-in 400, max 1500. Let's get into the action.
We grabbed the max 1500. One other cool thing to mention before we get started is you can button straddle in this game here for $10 up to $50, and action begins in the small blind. So games can get wild, so keep that in mind when you come to play. All right, we get started five-handed. First, we have Jack 9 suited in the cutoff. I raise to 15. We get calls from the small blind and big blind who calls blind. We go three ways to a flop, 4-4-4. Both players check to me. I check back, hoping to improve, and we do right on the turn with a 9 of diamonds. Small blind bets out 15. Big blind checks his cards now and makes the call. I'm a little worried, but can't fold now with a full house. It's unlikely either player has an overpair. I call, and we get a 7 of hearts on the river. Small blind checks. Big blind takes the lead, betting out 40 now. We're going to have to pay this one off. Let's see what he's got.
Is it quads?
And for the vlog, got a 4. First hand against my man. I just followed him on YouTube right here.
Gets me with the quads first hand. I didn't catch my man's name there, but thanks for checking out the channel and everyone else. You guys are the best. Next we have 10 jack offsuit in the small blind. Hijack limps. I call, and big blind checks the option. We go three ways to a beautiful flop. King, queen, 9, rainbow. We flop the nuts. I check, big blind checks, and the hijack bets $10. I call, and the big blind folds. We go heads up to a 4 of clubs on the turn. I check, and our opponent continues with a bet of 20. It's a limp pot. We have no idea what he has, but it's time to get some more money in and find out. I put in a raise to 65. We get a short speech before he decides to 3-bet to 145, $80 more to call. I debate re-raising right now, but we don't want to fold out 2 pair or sets. I also don't have a club, which is kind of important here because he may easily have 10 jack of clubs and be free rolling, so we don't want to get all the money in if that's the case. So I flat, and we do get a bad river card, ace of clubs, bringing in the backdoor flush. I do doubt that he 3-bet me on the turn with a flush draw unless it's exactly 10 jack of clubs, so I just check again. He goes into the tank for a little bit and checks back as well since he's a little worried about backdoor flush. We both roll over 10 jack for a chopped pot. Nice hand again, sir. Next, I straddle for $10 and we have pocket aces. Well, not much to talk about.
Serious? Little button straddle?
No action there with aces in the best possible scenario on your straddle. No biggie. Next, we have 9-7 suited under the gun. Button straddles on, which means action starts on the small blind. Small blind folds. Big blind raises to 30. He's a player I want to be involved with as often as I can. I call the 30. Player on my left calls, and the straddler calls as well. We go 4 ways to a pretty good looking flop. King Jack 10 with the 10 jack of diamonds. So we have a gut shot straight flush draw. The original raiser checks. Since neither player 3-bet behind me, I think this might not be as good a flop for them, so I go ahead and take the lead with a bet of 75. Player on my left has a decision though. He has about 600 or so total, and after some thought on a raising size, he decides to jam it all in. Action folds back to us. Well, like I said, nobody 3-bet pre-flop. I feel like it could be king queen, king jack, maybe 10 jack. This opponent definitely 3-bets with ace king or ace queen of diamonds, so I feel like our flush draw is probably live. Pot's about 800, about 500 or so to call. If he has anything but a bigger flush draw, we're not in terrible shape. Let's do it for the vlog. I call. Let's gamble. Run it out. All right, here we go. Off to a turn card, which is red, but it's a 9 of hearts, giving us a pair. Not a good card. We're looking for a diamond. Come on, dealer. Blank. Deuce of clubs. My opponent had a nice hand, ace queen. We were in pretty bad shape. Basically a naked flush draw, so good hand, sir. Add on 500 in the game for 2,000 now, so let's keep going. Just a few hands later, we are in the big blind with pocket jacks. Hijack and cutoff players limp, and the small blind raises to 15. He has about 350 to start the hand. He's been an action player that we definitely want to get in some pots with. I 3-bet to 60. The limpers fold, and action back on the small blind, who quickly announces all in. We snap call and see that we are in great shape when he flips over queen jack offsuit. Let's run this one out. Looking pretty good when the flop comes. 10, 5, 3, all clubs. Neither of us have a club. Off to a turn. He picks up some more equity when the king of spades hits. Oh no. Now we lose with any queen, ace, or nine. Come on, dealer. River is indeed the nine of spades. So queen jack is going to win this one. Not looking good now as we have to add on $500 more in the game for $2,500 now. The opponent with the queen jack last hand said, man, I was really just trying to go to bed. It looks like we may have a chance to send them there again because 2 hands later we pick up ace king offsuit on the button. It's my straddle for $10. Under the gun and +1 limp for 10. Middle position player raises to 50. Player on my right calls and action's on us. Price is going up for sure. I 3-bet to $225. Both limpers fold, original raiser folds, and action is back on. Opponent to our right again who says all in again, this time for twice as much money. Round 2, here we go. I call. He opens up 10 jack offsuit this time. If we lose, we're going to be stuck about $1,700 now. I'm not feeling great about it, and even worse when the flop comes jack high with jack 8-6 on the flop. His chances of going to sleep aren't looking great, but hold on. A turn brings a king of spades. There we go. Anything but a jack or 10 now. We get it. The blank on the river this time. 9 of hearts. We finally win a big one, getting us close to even.
Nice hand, Bob. Finally, man.
Good night.
Hey, good night, man.
Yeah, you deserve that. Take care. Good playing with you guys. Take care.
Finally, I can win a hand.
Next, we pick up ace king again from under the gun +1. I raise to 15. Action folds over to the small blind who 3-bets to 40. He looks to have about $200 behind. I'm fine with just getting it in here against a short stack. I think a 4-bet looks stronger though than just raising all in, so I go ahead and re-raise to $130. Action's back to him and he says let's get it all in. We call. We're slightly behind when he shows his pair of 10s. Let's see 5 cards. Good news when the flop comes king, queen, 4. So we got top pair of kings. Turn is a 3 of spades. River brings an inconsequential king, so we scoop another all in with ace king. Only stuck about 400 or so. Next we have king, queen offsuit and the big blind. The $10 button straddle is on. Small blind folds. I raise to 30. Action folds to the button who defends the straddle, calling $20 more. We're having some fun. I decide to go with the dark bet, $25 before the flop comes. Good choice because the flop comes king high, king 6-3 with 2 hearts. My opponent sees the flop and says, I'll call in the dark. So he calls the 25. We get a 7 of spades on the turn. It's a much better card for the straddler than me. I go ahead and check for that reason and also for deception. He checks back, which seems like he might have a small piece of the flop. I think he's going to bet straights, 2 pairs, and flush draws on the turn. So when the river brings another 7 pairing the board, I go ahead and bet 50 for value, targeting a 6 or a 3 on the flop that will likely be hard to fold given the dark bet and check on the turn. His senses are pretty dead on when he says he thinks I have a weak king or nothing. He nearly lays it down, but after some deliberation eventually calls. I show the king queen, and it's good as he shows the ace 6 of clubs for a pair of 6s with the ace kicker.
Shouldn't have done that. I knew it was not going to.
To the final hand of the evening, and also the final hand of this game. We are 4-handed at the moment, and I have 6-9 suited in the small blind. Under the gun $10 straddles on. Button limps, I limp, big blind folds, and straddler checks the option. We go 3 ways to a flop, 8-7-3 with 2 diamonds, 1 heart. We flop an open ender with backdoor flush draw. I lead out for $15 to start building a pot in case we nail it. Both opponents make the call. We get the best card in the deck. On the turn, 5 of spades, giving us the absolute nuts. I check, hoping to induce a bet from either opponent. It works. Next player bets 30, and button calls. I think one of them likely has a flush draw. Time to raise the price. I check raise to $125, and this hand escalates quickly when, after some thought, my next opponent decides to jam it all in for about $500. Which in turn brings in the button who shoves in the rest of his stack for $300. So here we are with the nuts. 2 players are all in front of us. I call. Let's see what happens. All right, we have a sweat. We're up against ace 9 of diamonds. We need to dodge a diamond or a 6 for a chop. What is it? Queen of clubs, a blank. We hold.
6-9 wins. Yeah, everybody come. Hey, good game for me. Alright, you might have busted.
That's going to do it, guys. In for $2,500, out for $3,055. Nice comeback. Unfortunately, we couldn't get any more players for the night, so that's going to be it. We will catch you at the end of the video.
Let's try that again. All right, guys, thanks for watching episode number 30. Hope you enjoyed all of the all-ins at the Mandalay Bay. That was a fun session. Be sure to check that game out every Friday and Saturday. They're going to try to start that game at 7 p.m. So you can call in, put your name on the list. If the list gets deep, last night there was 16 players on the list and only like 4 of us showed up. So put your name on the list. If you show up, I'm sure they're going to start 2 games if they get enough people. It's a great game if you want to switch venues. If you get sick of Bellagio, Wynn, Venetian, wherever you play, come check out the Mandalay Bay. It's a hidden gem. Some good action there. So one other thing is I'm not going to be vlogging every session anymore like I was, since I'm going to be playing some more poker. I'm just going to randomly select when I feel like recording. I'll probably be playing like 2 or 3 times a week as opposed to like once a week. So I'm always going to keep the stats though after every vlog, the updated stats, and then like the previous sessions that weren't vlogged, so we can keep track along the way. So here are those. I actually played at the South Point and then another one at the Mandalay Bay since this last session. So had a loser last night, and then I'm not sure where we're going to record next, but we're getting ready for some World Series action though. I got about 7 or 8 tournaments going to try and play. This might be my first year playing the main event, so pumped about that. Not 100%. We're going to see how these first 7 tourneys go. Hopefully we can make a couple cashes or whatever. Free roll in there, maybe win a single table satellite or something like that. So yeah, that's about it. Stay to the end for a trick shot as always, and I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you next Sunday. Have a good one, guys. Whoa.